Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are Story Reckless. I am Nathan. I will be your DM this evening. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm going to pass it over to our players to do their quick intros.
My name is Claire. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Quidam. I'm also half-elf barbarian, but that ain't quite.
There's only one barbarian in this town, and it's me, Lovelace, olive barbarian, she, her, she, they, barbarian ghostbuster. These are disintegrating.
Yeah. Are you playing an olive who is a barbarian?
I guess we gotta play to find out what happens, right?
Real quick, just in case there's anybody new tonight, Olive is playing a centaur, just so that folks know, because it has happened before where somebody was watching along. I was describing something and described Quidam getting on the back of Lovelace, and they were very confused. How could you? What are you doing? Yeah, Olive is playing a centaur.
I feel like centaur was in that like mishmash of words, but I could be wrong. Somewhere in there.
All right. Well, with that nonsense out of the way, let's do this. All right. Let's do a quick recap. So, last time, as our protagonists were, what happened? Do we just have a lot of giggles tonight? Is that what's going on? All right. Last time, as Lovelace and Quidam were making their way through the abandoned lost village of Vermeillon in search of a platinum mine to appease their patron Box of Screws, a guild kingpin back in Baldur's Gate. They spent a cold evening up on the cliffside above Vermeillon as they were being terrorized by some fey creatures lurking in the village below. As they slept up on the rocks above, they were plagued with nightmares and whispers throughout the evening. Lovelace decided to remain awake the entire night, staying vigilant watch over her companions. While Quidam slept, Quidam was greeted with a nightmare but pushed through it and seemed to make some sort of contact with their god, Sehanine. In the vision, Quidam saw themselves floating above the village with beautiful owl wings outstretched behind their back as a shadow consumed the village below them. But they were able to pull the light from the moon and drive the shadow back into the mountain deep within a mine. Waking in the morning, you all with your companions, Renwyn the gnome, gnomish prospector, and Manfred, the definitely human man, headed down into the village to try to finish this job and find evidence of the platinum mine to bring back to Box of Screws. Although Quidam also had some feelings about perhaps trying to help put to rest this terror that has been plaguing this village. You all headed into the massive, not massive, but this is the largest building in town, this manor at the center of town, to see what you could find, any evidence. And as you peruse through, heading upstairs, hearing strange creaking throughout the house and whispers in your mind, you found a small library with various notes and books strewn about. And one of the books stood out to both of you, and as you flipped through it, it was a book on the Feywild, with one page in particular that had many notes scribbled across it, and it showed and wrote about a creature known as a Meanlock, which, despite the name not sounding as so menacing, is a rather tragic creature that is drawn to places of intense terror and fear, and they are known to drag their victims into the dark, tormenting them with hallucinations until they are eventually turned into another Meanlock, furthering the infestation. With all of this in mind, you heard Manfred and Renwyn arguing behind you as Renwyn started to step away to go and investigate one of the rooms on his own. Manfred rolling his eyes, and as Quidam quickly shuffled out of the room to stop Renwyn, Renwyn had just opened a door into a bedroom, and there was a shadowy figure standing behind them, which slashed them right in the back before it disappeared into a shadowy mist. This is where we will pick up our session. So, welcome back to the manor. Quidam, you were standing there. Renwyn kind of buckled over, wheezing in pain. You can see a gash across their back that is cut through their leather armor. I'm sorry.
Pick him up and put him to the side and immediately swing in through the doorway, holding my light out. I want to illuminate as much of this room as I possibly can.
Yeah, stepping into the room, you reveal this small, empty, dusty bedroom. There's not much in here other than one bed, with the fireplace in the corner and mildew kind of clinging to some of the curtains and rodent droppings scattering the room.
I squat and check under the bed.
You look under the bed. It is empty. Just little bits of rodent droppings is all you see.
All right.
Lovelace keeps an eye out outside, I guess.
Okay.
Glancing around nervously now that our flashlight just went under a bed.
Ah, yes. As,
I didn't go under the bed. I just literally squatted in the doorway there so that I could look.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as Quidam steps into that room, the light does kind of cast these harsher shadows into the room you're in, Lovelace. You kind of trot up to the window and look outside. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Great. Perception +5. Just rolling on D20 or D&D Beyond, 22.
22. Oh, are you not on which dice right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll join in a second.
Excellent. 22. Let me see something here. Looking around through the window, you kind of have to pull back these tattered curtains and stare outside. All you can see below are the dark shapes of the buildings and those tendrils of mist blowing through the abandoned streets. And that one lone tree in the center of town, its gnarled branches reaching up, just kind of gently moving in the wind.
Quidam, this is gonna just keep happening. We gotta end this.
Yeah,
Or we gotta leave.
I agree.
As you come out, you can hear Renwyn. I'm so sorry. I had this feeling come over me. It felt important. I needed to be in there for some reason, and I was trying to tell Manfred that I don't know.
Look, Renwyn, this place is just gonna keep more dangerous. Why don't we go outside? Why don't you hightail it out, maybe out the town. Wait to the end of the day.
By myself?
It's safer than here.
With those things out there that...
It's either this or they're gonna just keep pulling you into these corners. Can you stay with the group, no matter how important it feels?
Yes.
Okay. Because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to come with us.
It's all right.
Okay.
I have an alternative, maybe. And I will kneel down and take off one of my platinum bracelets.
Okay.
And hand it over to Renwyn. Maybe you can wear this as an armband or something. Or maybe even an ankle bracelet. If you wear this and stay relatively close to me, you'll have some amount of physical protection.
All right. if you say so.
It's true. I've seen
Uh,
Quidam there fend off like hammer blows with those damn bracelets of theirs. I don't
Well,
really understand how or why.
That's a collective action, you know? I just got so many.
It's still just like a bunch of bracelets, Quidam. And I've seen you
Yeah.
wear them like a suit of armor. It's bizarre.
he slips it up his arm, like almost all the way up to the shoulder to get it to fit on his little gnomish arm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay. I'm
thank
gonna
you.
cast Warding Bond on him.
Okay. Does this look like anything?
I think both of the bracelets, so now his and mine, on the other hand, both glow slightly and now feel warm to the touch. And then the glow fades, but the warmth stays.
That's nice.
I'm glad.
Thank you, Quidam. I'll be better this time.
All right.
Now, Quidam, what are we going to do about this situation?
I think you're right. I think we should just go down to the mine.
No way but forward.
Yep.
I mean, I guess there is backwards. We could go back to Fox Cruise and say we didn't find nothing.
Yeah, I think we will find something.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think it won't be worth. I think it won't be worth it.
What do you mean?
I think that there is probably platinum around here. Probably that could bring in a great deal of coin. I think it is far more important to take care of the people who are already here, who have been here far too long, and let them rest, than it is for the guild to make any more coin off of this. Well, any coin off of this.
You'll get no argument from me.
And as I'm saying this, look over at Manfred as well.
I'm here for a job. We must find evidence of the platinum in the mine before we can leave.
I don't even necessarily object to that.
Good. Just have to keep our wits about us, and if we encounter any of these creatures... He nods towards your light. Perhaps just keep that close at hand. And ignore any unsettling feelings you might be having. Do my teeth look okay?
Your teeth are just fine. I had that one earlier myself.
All right.
Let's get moving.
Yeah, let's get going. Everybody, I'm gonna pull some torches out. Give each of you a few. Got this one light over here, but I think torches will also do the trick. And Lovelace pulls out, I think, 2 torches for both Manfred and Renwyn.
All right. Yeah.
And then 2 for herself.
You're gonna
Lights.
hold. You're gonna hold 2. You're gonna.
I guess like one ready, like
will.
one ready if it like gets one gets dropped, and the other like held in.
Okay.
Actually lit. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
And I think Lovelace kind of like starts leading the band out of the manor and towards the mine.
Okay, so you're gonna head out of this house and back into town. All right. So, for the players, don't worry right now about the logistics of the map. We'll do some theater of the mind here as you head out of town, or not out of town, but out of the manor. So, slowly making your way out and through the front door, you get out into the main courtyard. As you make your way through this dusty house, you are just constantly hearing these incoherent whispers in your head and feeling like something is watching you. But you push on and step out into the open streets of the town, and those whispers start to subside. You can see to the north the main path leading up towards where you assume the cliffs are, but the mist is really thick. You can look up and see kind of the dark shapes of the cliff rising above the town. Heading down this dirt road, you can see the long and ancient grooves of wagon tracks in the path. You don't have to head too far, less than a quarter mile, as you go up this road, which slowly ascends, kind of winding up craggy cliffs on either side as it kind of narrows into this gully. And up ahead, as you approach, you can see some shapes in the road and a dark mouth of a cave. The shapes themselves, you can tell based on the contours that they are not natural formations. They have angles to them, and as you get closer, you see a scattering of carts out in front. The majority of them are filled with just big piles of rubble and pieces of rock. You can see one cart, though, has very old, ancient lumber sticking out of it. And getting right up to the mouth of this cave, you see it is got wooden supports on either side, and it starts to descend down into the earth with this massive granite cliff rising up in front of you, going out of view into the mist. You're at the entrance to the mine.
All right.
All right, everyone ready?
Yep. I'm gonna recast light.
Right, because it lasts an hour.
Yeah.
Because, remind me again, light is
20
excuse me,
foot
light is
bright
actu-
light.
Right, but light is a spell, because there's the cantrip that casts light, right? Which is different.
No, this is the cantrip light. It
This is
lasts
cantrip.
an hour.
Got it. Okay. Understood. So, as you get to the edge here, Quidam quickly does a gesture, and their bracelet illuminates brightly once more, and you descend into the earth. Also, yeah, I wanted to briefly say hi to, I don't know if I've seen this person before. Dendar Merc?
Dendari Merc.
Dendari Merc, thank you. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And yes, all of your necklace is amazing.
Scale mail. It's my combat necklace. It gives me plus like half to AC.
Real quick, we don't have to get too hung up on this, but I just want to know who's going in first. Lovelace, are you leading?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think Lovelace just kind of like nervously kind of like paces a little bit, like, and unhooks her javelins, just so they're kind of like hanging just by like one strap, so she can just like really quickly pull one out. And I think she actually has one ready, so it's like a torch up.
Got it.
Javelin ready to just like chuck at the first shadow that moves.
Yeah.
In this flickering, unstable torchlight.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Well,
Okay.
with that, as you descend, the mine itself, at first it's probably about 10 feet wide, enough to get a cart in. But the further and further you go, you see that it starts to narrow rapidly, and it gets down to no more than 5 feet in width. And the ceiling itself starts to get a bit lower, becoming very claustrophobic for you, Lovelace, as you're having to go down into the earth. You go probably 50 feet, 100,
I would like to
150.
be in the rear and keep a lookout for any evidence of a cave-in or explosives.
Okay. Going further and further in, it's hard to gauge the distance that you've traveled. Kadam, you do see with um, Renwin in front of you that he seems to be kind of holding one hand off to the side on the wood and just tapping each support with his torch out, and he seems to kind of be making some sort of mental note as you descend. Who knows how deep you go, but it takes you probably a good 5 to 10 minutes before you come to your first fork in this mine. The winding path starts to curve a bit, and all the while there are these supports built into the walls everywhere you go. And as it curves off to the left, you can see to the south of you, kind of around the bend, there's another pathway that angles down, and then the main path continues going forward. You hear ever so faintly, coming from somewhere much further and deeper in, just the faintest sound of bloop, 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 water dripping from something.
Let's find that water.
Okay.
And I will also start keeping an eye out for black moss.
Okay. So which direction do you want to go?
Can I tell which direction the water sound is coming from?
Make a perception check.
18.
18. Yes, you can hear it seems to be coming down that main path, somewhere down in that direction.
All right.
Manfred, that book of yours say anything about how deep the cave-in happened? Was it like near the surface? Was it like in some kind of like newly renovated, unstable area?
The story doesn't go into the specifics, as it was written very flamboyantly. So unfortunately, no. We'll just have to explore and see what we can find.
Lucas said that some explosive was misplaced, yeah? Or am I making that up?
I believe that's what he said, if I remember correctly. And
Sounds like it
Kadam,
might have been blasting some sort of new area then.
Possibly, or perhaps they were just transporting it and it went off. Yeah, Vermeillon was experimenting with explosives. It wasn't placed correctly, causing a cave-in. Which then caused a sequence of cave-ins.
All right. So you want to continue down the main path?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Going down the main path, you probably make it another 50 feet or so. And Lovelace, you come to another split. You see a turn off to the left of you. But directly ahead, your torch is starting to catch angular shapes of rocks that are spilled out on the mine path itself. And you can just barely make out some dripping directly in front of you. Just very faint, like bloop, 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 bloop.
I'm gonna just shine my light over those collapsed rocks, see if I see anything like shiny in them, like looking for platinum ore.
Sure. Make a perception check as you hold your torch out towards you.
And this one will be on which dice? 8.
8. Well, directly in front of you as you hold your torch up, you see that the path starts to widen out a bit, and you can see that those supports going along, suddenly there are some that are splintered and kind of broken and coming over the side. You can see a little bit of water dripping from the ceiling, hitting on these rocks, and directly beyond that, just at the edge of your light, you can see just massive piles of rocks going up and forming this huge cave-in. You also see you can see what looks like a little ways at the edge of your light, the wall itself, the coloration of the wall, it darkens a bit.
Well, I think we found our cave-ins.
Yeah, seems like it.
Any know how to look for a thin veil to the Feywild?
Have you ever been there, Lovelace?
No, not myself. I hear lots of stories though.
Same. Grew up at it telling us all sorts of fairy tales.
I mean, for us, it was more family histories.
That makes sense. Can I go up to the cave-in
Mm-hmm.
and just place my hands on a couple of rocks and feel for presences around?
Sure. You push past Lovelace and step up to the caved-in rocks, placing your hands on. As you close your eyes, you hear a very faint help, 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 help. And it's coming directly to your right. And as you look over, you can see, at first, what looked like perhaps soot on the wall. You can see this very soft looking moss or growth. And then the wall itself seems to sort of twist and dissolve and become a gaping black hole. And you see this almost perfectly spherical hole in the wall with all of this black moss coming out around the edges directly to your right.
Do Lovelace and the others see this too?
I mean, Lovelace, you're maybe a little ways back. You see Quidam look over. You don't really see anything. You just see this kind of like dark soot on the wall.
Does it look like is the hole big enough that we could fit through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's probably 5 feet.
Oh.
It is odd though because it doesn't have all these inconsistent contours to it. It's
no,
very...
this matches the description of a mean lock burrow that we read about in the book.
Yeah.
Minus the black moss, but I've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Through here.
Manfred looks over Lovelace's shoulder. What are you talking about, Quidam?
Into the gaping black void.
I just see a bunch of moss, Quidam. Lovelace approaches at this point and like pokes at it, I think, with a stick.
Okay. You poke forward with your javelin, and it doesn't make contact with anything. And then you watch as the wall does that strange twist and turns into this spherical opening. You see Manfred and Renwin's eyebrows jump at this. Oh.
Okay, I didn't actually think you'd find a literal hole to the Feywild, but here we go.
All of you standing there at the entrance to this suddenly hear this kind of cascading wave of whispers coming through the tunnel itself. And they come rolling out of this spherical entrance, washing over you. You can hear a multitude of screams and shouts and people calling for help and gasping for breath. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw for me. I say everybody like...
Not 50% of the people are you.
Yeah.
Renwin gets a +1.
Renwin gets +1? Okay.
Yes, because of warding bond.
Okay. Let me pull up. I forgot to get Renwin's. I just need this little guy for Renwin's stats. Okay. What did y'all get?
19.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Ugh.
I am on this. I know what's going on.
God. All right. So Quidam, Lovelace, and Renwin are all fine. Manfred, however, it's all right. I'll be okay. For both of you, the whispers seem to subside. You can still kind of hear them very faintly at your peripheral, and you keep feeling like there's just something moving right outside of your vision. But Manfred seems to just... I keep...
On my shoulder.
It's not going away this time.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We should,
We know what they are now.
perhaps,
We know.
yeah.
Well, we know to a certain extent what they've gone through.
Those poor folks. We hear them.
Maybe, maybe before we go into the spooky hole, we check some of those other passageways to see if there were any veins of platinum. If it's all the same to you, if we find some, I'd be fine with just leaving, and Box of Screws can send a bigger force here to deal with this.
That's not where we are right now.
I would like to continue.
To what end?
So that this don't happen to any more people.
This isn't our job. We just need to make sure there's platinum in this mine. Box of Screws can deal with the rest. It's not our job to clear out these creatures.
If you want to go once we've found platinum, Manfred, you can. You absolutely can. I'm gonna stay. I need to stay.
Very well. I'll be leaving after. Well, regardless, I would like to just look down those other passages first.
I'll look over at Lovelace.
Would you be willing to join me, just so we have the numbers? After that, you can do whatever you want.
I don't know if this whole stable, Manfred. Feywild shifts around. When we got opportunities, we gotta take them. The platinum's not going nowhere.
Both of you make persuasion checks.
That's a flat 15.
Well, I'm not going in the cave alone. I'll stick with the two of you for now. But as soon as I see the platinum, Venrin, will you join me once we find, Oh, yes, no, definitely. Very well.
Man, I offered to let you go. You say no?
I'm not
say we
going
go
by
deeper,
myself.
you
As
say
long
no.
as long as I'm with somebody, I'm not going to go off by myself. And Manfred's not.
Okay, these things are feeding off negative emotions. We gotta buckle up. We're doing this. Everyone, prepare yourself. And Lovelace strides into this hole.
Okay. You have to hunch over and step over into this narrow circular tube, and immediately as you step inside, the sound of your hooves on the hard stone is immediately just dampened, just barely hearing anything. It is eerily quiet inside of this chamber. You also, those whispers start to kind of rise once more, and your light source itself seems to shrink and hug closer to you. Just want to make some quick adjustments to these things as you step in. But Lovelace, what you see is just a warren of tubes. There is immediately a split in front of you. There are two off to your left and right, one going directly forward, and that one again splits into two more. Quidam, are you gonna join the back again, all the way in the back, or do you want to go with Lovelace?
I am torn between wanting to make sure everyone's all right and not wanting the two people who don't want to be here to feel hemmed in.
Okay.
I will just ask, would you like me in front or behind the two of you?
I like it when you're back there. It's nice and, we're sandwiched and just...
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Quidam, you will take it back. Okay. So for this, we don't have to go, square by square, but I think I am going to move you all to the map just so you can see what you're working with, so you can make some decisions here, because it is a rather complex system that you're working with here. So here we are. This is what you're looking at. Quidam, you're at the back, so you can't really see what's going on.
That's how it's gonna be, huh? Okay.
I'm gonna pull out my sickle.
Okay.
And kind of turn to the moss immediately to my left and say, I'm sorry if this is painful or like I shouldn't be doing this or something, but I'm gonna cut out like a square of moss and see if I can remove it from the wall.
Okay. Yeah, you lean down and scraping the sickle across the stone, you're able to get a patch of this moss that just comes off, kind of onto your hand. You see underneath this very smooth, like a bore, like a smooth bore just went through the stone itself, on the underside of it.
Okay,
Does
this
it
is
grow
how it's
back?
gonna be. Lovelace starts unfurling a rope.
Okay.
Ties one bit to kind of her. I want to say saddle, but it's not a saddle. Kind of like her horse pouches.
Okay, like saddle bags, kind of.
Saddlebags. There we go.
Okay.
And then tosses it back to Manfred. Said, "Pass this back. Hold on to it. Keep us from getting separated."
He will pass it back, and yeah. Does it grow back? That is a good question. Yeah, as you scrape it away and it plops into your hand, you wait a moment, suspecting nothing is really happening. It's just sitting there. But you can see, as you stare at it a little longer, at the edges of where this scrape is, you can see it starting to just very slowly creep back into place. Very slow rate, but it is quicker than most plant growth would be.
All right. Redmond, may I borrow your torch for a moment?
I
just want to burn
right.
away.
Passes it to you.
Can I char the edges of the moss and prevent it from growing back?
Okay, so you bring fire up to it and start to burn at it. you spend a moment burning it away and then pulling the torch back and stare. And then you start to see it once more,
All
growing
right.
back very slowly.
I don't have a way of keeping track of where we're going, or more specifically, where we've come from.
Can you anchor the end of that rope to any rocks out there? I got how many feet of it? 50 feet of it.
Yeah, I've got another 50. I mean, I can. I don't know if it'll get us very far.
I mean, it's something.
Yeah, I'll anchor the rope to whatever seems anchorable.
Okay, easy enough. So you all have 100 feet of rope tied off, and you're gonna start trailing it in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lovelace, you do, as you're doing that and getting it all set up, you kind of get it tied off, look in front of you, and pull the torch up. And just as you do, you see something ahead of you just dart out of the range of your light.
I see you there. I'm sorry about what happened to all y'all, but this has got to end. And Lovelace, I think, just walks straight forward.
Okay. Pushing forward, you can see more and more of these little avenues branching off. All the while, your hooves kind of squishing down into this moss. There is a very earthy smell in here as you move forward, but with your light held forward, you don't see anything. You just hear whispers in the dark. Ah!
Keep walking forward.
Okay, so you come around the corner, and when you get to this point, you can see clutched on the edge of the stone these kind of gnarled insect-looking hands and a hunched over humanoid form, the eyes catching the light of the torch. You see these bright discs of reflective light shine back at you as it tries to pull back into the dark.
I need to know. I want to chuck a javelin at it.
Okay.
Let's try violence.
Okay.
We haven't tried that yet, admittedly.
Go ahead. Make a quick initiative roll. See if you can, catch it before it darts around the corner.
Okay. 16.
You bring your javelin up, and right as you throw it, it darts around the corner, and the javelin just shoots past and
those are
just hits into the moss with a
quick little friends, ain't they?
Yep, I call from behind.
I'm assuming everybody's following right behind me.
Yeah, I'll move the rest behind.
Okay, I will retrieve my javelin and continue forward.
Okay. Can see the cave system branching out before you.
I'm feeling lucky. Let's go right.
Okay. Moving in this direction as you start to, you can see there is this little alcove that just seems to be a dead end. But from around the corner, you can hear a very faint sound of water bloop, 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 dripping.
Okay. Squeeze myself through this thing.
Okay. Yeah, squeezing through. You hear that faint dripping sound and the whispers continuing. Quidam, from behind you, you can hear help, 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 echoing from behind you, strangely considering the soft, dampening material around you.
We're doing our best.
Okay. Lovelace, the dripping sound is coming from the south, winding, and these tunnels are descending further and further into the rock.
Okay, let's head south. How many feet of rope have we used up?
Ah, that is a good point. You probably are reaching.
I have no idea where Lovelace is.
Ah, I can here. I'll move you all. Don't worry about it.
I have wandered off into the dark.
I mean, to be fair, that would actually be pretty. No, this is great. Well, you have the rope to follow, so yeah. Well, Quidam, make a perception check for me.
This gotta be a perception check.
I got it. No, because it's something. I got it. I got an idea here. Just hold on.
6.
Oh, incredible!
2.
These gifts that we give you.
Okay, Quidam, you hear that? No, I know. I appreciate these gifts. You hear that call from behind you of help, and as you turn to respond, we're here to help, and you look back, you realize that your companions in front of you are no longer in sight. As you look around, you see the rope to follow. So you start to follow it, clutching the rope as it kind of drags along the ground. And when you get up to the intersection, you see that it has been snipped.
I take the very end of it in my hand, in both actually, and then keep running my hand along. Do I feel it? Like, is it like does the rope continue past the snipped point if I run my hand along it?
You run your hand along it, and it just out of your hand. It has physically been cut.
And the other end is missing?
The other end seems to be missing.
Lovelace? Manfred?
Your voice carries, and it's just so dampened. Lovelace, make a perception check as you are pushing down this tube towards the sound of the dripping water.
11?
11. I think I should really say my DCs out loud to get them, because it's one of those things where in my head I'm going through the numbers and I'm like, oh, it could be this or this or all you hear ahead of you, Lovelace, is that sound of water dripping. Quidam, what do you do?
Is 11 enough to not hear that, but I guess notice that the rope has gone slack behind us? It's pulling on it, because it being cut is one of the
fair.
things. We know that it cuts things, or they cut things.
Mm-hmm. You're about 75 feet in, and I guess the rope is it's probably been doing this strange pulling along the walls. There's probably a little bit of tension. Sure, I'll say you notice it seems a bit loose as you start to step forward.
Okay, I think once Lovelace reaches this intersection, she's in such a habit of whenever she makes any decision, I feel like she always checks for Quidam's reaction.
Okay. Yeah.
And just that reflex, that habit makes her look back and be like, hey, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Quidam.
Renwin.
Yeah.
Renwin.
What? Oh. Quidam,
Yep.
you standing there as you call out, barely hear something behind you into the soft moss. What do you do?
Gosh, what do I do?
Zoink, Scoob.
You know what? I am doing my utmost to keep calm right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna take my sickle out again and start pawing at the moss and see if I can't just like find a platinum vein.
Okay. You start to scrape away at the moss, hearing this faint, and then you hear it come pattering up to you quickly. You whip around just in time to see this small humanoid form skittering on the side of the wall, running straight at you as your light comes up on your bracelet and your sickle flashing forward. That light catches those big bulbous eyes protruding from this strange carapace of this humanoid form, that weird mouth kind of puckering forward, and these little hair-like tendrils kind of and the big pincers on the side of the head. Okay, a couple things. Let's roll initiative for everybody, and also Quidam, I need you to make a wisdom save as this thing comes running at you from the dark.
I'm just gonna take a picture of this and send it to you.
What did you get? Another
It's
natural
a good
20?
roll, right? You take good pictures.
Oh, crap.
Another natural 20. I got a 14 on my initiative.
Okay. Was the natural 20 for the whiz save?
Yes.
Wow.
You're doing pretty good with these like wisdom saves.
I know.
Lovelace got 8 for what it's worth.
Got it. Okay, let me... 15... Lovelace... 8... I will check the picture in a minute. I mean, I believe you.
I know. This is the second nat 20 for a whiz save I've gotten this session.
Yeah. Oh, wow, Renwin, very nice. 19. And then finally, Manfred. Oh, the character... Well, no, never mind. I'm not going to say, because... Okay, here we go. So, before y'all go, because this is happening right now just between Quidam and the Beanlock. So, Quidam, you get to react first. You see this thing skittering along the wall. As it approaches, those whispers become overwhelming, and you start to see flashes of figures standing in the dark staring at you, but you push through and it fades. Just this thing running on the wall towards you. What do you do?
I cast Calm Emotions.
Okay, can you read the spell for me?
You attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. Each humanoid within a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a... Oh, they're not humanoids. They're fae. I think I would do it anyway. I think I would appeal to
Yeah, sure.
who they once were, and also like I think they're people.
Okay.
Yeah. So charisma save. I can also suppress any effect causing target to be charmed or frightened.
Okay, it's a charisma save?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you catch yourself in the AoE?
I can.
I'm trying to think
It's
how I want to play this. I
Yeah,
love
so
the
good.
I love the idea. Okay, I'm gonna do something here. This is just okay. Okay. What's your spell save?
15? Yeah.
Okay. You focus and release this wave out towards the creature. You see it falter for a moment. And then it continues to skitter towards you. That was your action?
Yep.
You still have movement and bonus.
I do. How much do I want to put myself in danger here? No, I think I'm just going to stay right there. I'm just going to let it come towards me.
Okay. On its turn, it skitters right up to you. And this thing is small, but it's clinging to the wall as it... And then it leaps off towards you, these strange pincer-like claws. No!
Let's not!
But it is going to attempt to slash through your bracelets. As canonically Quidam's armor is their thick clothing and bracelets. 15 to hit?
No, that misses.
Okay, so it off of your bracelet, landing on the ground. And then it, and then you hear another sound coming from the north. Let's see, can this thing... Yes, it can. Coming from around the corner, another one appears. Ooh. Another friend.
More friends.
16 to hit?
That hits.
Okay. So you are going to take only 4 points of slashing damage. However, I need you to make a con save for me.
12?
Okay. You start as this claw catches you just on your side as you were deflecting this other one. This one catches you by surprise and cuts across your flank, kind of wincing. You start to feel the muscles there spasm, and you start to feel your whole body tensing from the point of impact, and your arms starting to seize. But you're able to pull out of it, and it doesn't take hold, whatever that was. And now you just hear this as these things are staring up at you in this dim light. At this point, Lovelace, you have looked back, had this interaction with Renwyn, and you realize that Quidam is not there. I'll let you do what you want to do.
Renwyn, oh, nothing. And I think Lovelace just like doesn't like run, but like I'm going back past you, so like just pushing her way past Manfred and Renwyn.
Okay.
To try to like, I guess, follow our path back and like kind of like follow the rope.
Yeah.
For as long as we can.
You can see the rope went the way you came, kind of drifting around the corner, and then you see there, not that far, maybe 10 feet, it is dragged along the black moss just behind Renwyn. However, when you get to about here, you can just make out some light coming from around the corner, and you can hear very faintly this kind of shuffling of movement and bodies.
Okay, I think that's 25 feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
I got another 25 to go.
Yeah, go for it.
5, 10. Oh, okay,
Oh.
around that corner.
Hi. Hi, I'm so glad to see you.
You dumb.
And you see these two small creatures trying to latch on to Gadam as you come running around the corner. I realize I got all kinds of messed up with my initiative here, but that's fine. I'll have Renwin and Manfred come up from behind.
And Kadam was looking remarkably calm, all things considered, having just cast calm emotions on myself.
Yeah, did you just choose to fail your own spell casting and
Oh,
cast it?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Lovelace attempts violence.
Okay. Go for it.
I think gets up right next to Quidam. Can I like stand?
Yeah, so if, here, I'll just move you. You can kind of, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I probably like can't get close enough to use my short swords.
No, this is very tight, and these things are harassing Kadam from either side.
I think Lovelace is just like, Quidam, get behind me, and tries to stab one of these fools with my 10-foot reach pike.
Go for it. Make your attack.
And also a rage.
Yeah, go for it.
And attack recklessly. I get 2 attacks because I am a Banff. 26 and 24 to hit.
Holy shit. Yeah, that definitely hits.
So that's 16 damage for the first swing.
My god. Okay.
I'm a barbarian.
Okay.
And then 12 plus 2 more damage. I didn't add my second rage bonus, so 30 damage total. Piercing.
30 damage. So wait, an additional 12 points?
14 points.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay, with 2 quick strikes of your pike from over the shoulder of Kadam, you stab down into this thing, and you just hear this strange... And as the pike pulls out of its shoulder, you see it limping and looking back, just hearing this strange... looks ruined. Its like whole arm is just like dragging limp on the ground. That is it for Lovelace. So I totally messed up my initiative. That's fine. So I'm just gonna go to the top to kind of fix it. Renwin. Oh man, what can Renwin even do? Gave
I've
him
been
a weird...
asking myself that ever since I brought
So
him along.
I gave him a very... the only gnome stat block that was available was a deep gnome stat block, so I just quickly grabbed that for him. Apparently he can shoot poison darts. Sure.
Excellent.
No, I think it's great. He will he will come from around the corner, fumble, and he pulls out his flask, and on the side you saw this strange, what looked like some sort of like little design element, but he grabs it and thook, and it pulls out this little like retractable tube, which he flips around and then grabs a little dart, almost inhaling the thing, but he's gonna shoot this little dart towards the one that you just hit, Lovelace.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope he doesn't roll a 1 with all these people in front of him. No, he rolled a 16. I mean, is that enough? Sorry. Yes, it's just enough. So this dart sails through the air and hits this thing in the head, and it falls down, just kind of convulsing on the ground. So that one is no longer with the living. Manfred can't, he really can't do anything, like, from any of these angles. You just hear him, everything okay? Kadam, you are up.
Alright, let's toll the dead. Why not? Whiz save, please, from the remaining one.
Yes. What? Oh, Toll the Dead. Right.
Wisdom?
They have to make it wisdom. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
sorry, I forgot. I'm like waiting
I
there.
got my damage already.
I rolled a 3.
Cool. That does not succeed. So that is a whopping 5 damage right there.
Okay. Wow. Just staring. We're both staring at each other expectantly.
Yeah.
You flip your mirror out and it catches a little bit of the light coming off your bracelet, and you see the Meanlock in front of you, its head sort of unnaturally click with a twitch, and then so it seemed to do something to it. Anything else? Quidam.
Quidam, this was the one situation where fooling around with that mirror happens to direct light and hurt these particular foes. Good job. I knew it would happen
Nice.
someday.
I'm not gonna move anywhere.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay right here.
Okay.
Actually, I might come and stand kind of over this friend right here.
Okay. Yeah. You can do that. Stepping onto the body, not leaving the.
Oh, I'm like straddling the body. I'm not stepping onto this thing.
Got it. So real quick, Lovelace, since I messed up the initiative order.
Yeah, I'll skip this turn. It's all
Well,
good.
you don't have to skip. We can just let the Meanlocks go and then go back to you. Is that fine with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That works.
All right. So this thing, as you step around the corner, it's going to lash out towards you with its claw. At disadvantage. I just wait. Yeah, at disadvantage, because. Yep. So a 13.
Nope.
As it looks up towards you and then looks over at the rest, and then you watch it, and it disappears into that shadowy mist.
It was probably a wise choice, I say to the emptiness.
It's go over here. Okay. Standing there in the dark, you just hear in the residual, the kind of residual silence, more of those whispers coming out from the shadows. What would you all like to do? We're kind of at a pause here in initiative as the 4 of you stand here.
Hi. Thanks for coming back. I couldn't find y'all. And I gestured with the cut end of the rope.
Good job staying in place. That's the right thing to do.
I figured.
Okay, why don't you hook back up with us, and we don't got the long trail, but we have each other at least.
Yeah.
You want to take a look at this friend here?
I do.
Let's take a look.
Kneel down and like make a medicine check to see
Sure.
just kind of what I can learn by looking at the body.
Yeah, go ahead, make a medicine check.
Oh. 26.
Wow. Looking over the body, you do see that barely clinging around its waist, you can see like tattered bits of clothing, almost like it is a like a waistband of pants is like all that's kind of left, just clinging to the very emaciated hips, angular insect-like hips of this creature, but still attached to like the belt loops and on the hip itself there is a very worn leather belt, and a brass belt buckle, very oxidized, that depicts a wyvern on it. But other than that, it is very odd. Well, I mean, it's kind of insect-like in its form, but it does have a fleshy texture to it. And coming off the bulbous back, there are all these fine, coarse, very coarse hairs coming out the back and running all down the back of this creature. It has those big pincers on the side with multiple little mandibles coming around, and then that strange little mouth. These big saucer-like eyes that you can now see have no pupils. They just have all these little faceted bits along the eyes, much like an insect's. There are two smaller appendages coming off the front of the chest that have weirdly human-like hands that are very segmented. And then the bigger hands themselves, which are like bigger arms, very elongated, have these pincer-like claws. But the thumb itself, again, has a strange human-like shape. And where the nail is where this claw kind of comes out. And you can see there's a little bit of some sort of fluid that's dripping off the thumb piece and the like forefinger.
Could I gather some of that with a spare bottle from my healer's kit?
Yeah, sure. Just kind of make a survival check.
21.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. You place the vial under there, and you have to kind of push on the fleshy piece of the thumb, and you feel something under there kind of compress, and you see that liquid start to pulse out and go into the vial.
And I think Lovelace will take that belt buckle and be like, we can put you to rest in the graveyard at least.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that idea quite a lot.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I heard some dripping water back that way. Assuming it's not another illusion.
Excellent. It's probably about at this time that Calm Emotions is wearing off on me. So... all right, let's go.
Just as you are starting to push out into the cave, you hear Momfred, "Ah!" and he whips around, and you hear a, and it immediately muffles. You see a flash of light, and as you come around the corner, you see him standing there, shaking, trembling with his pistol out, smoke filling the chamber, with nothing in front of him. Something.
Did you hit one?
No, it was too late. I tried to shoot it, and it disappeared in the dark before I could hit it. I did one of the same, whatever. Fuck this place. Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's keep going, please. I just want to get this over with.
Okay. Lovelace goes back to the front. Stay close now, y'all.
Okay. So do you want to head to where the dripping sound is coming from?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like down that way.
Yeah. Here, I'll just to make this a little simpler, I'm gonna grab all y'all and just shift you down. So, Lovelace, following the sound of dripping, you come around the corner. I know, you're like, ah! You come around the corner to see these slick black pools of water. They are with the light reflecting off of them, they almost look like black voids casting across this black mossy floor. You probably wouldn't have actually noticed that they were there were it not for the light that's catching off the reflection. But you do see that coming off of the ceiling, there are these kind of stalactites coming down and little drips of water onto the surfaces of these pools. Sorry. Yeah, and that is what you see before you.
How deep are these things? Lovelace will very carefully, near the edge of it, poke one of her long sticks down into one.
Okay. You shove the stick down into that first pool, and almost immediately it just and scrapes against stone. As you push out towards the center, it maybe goes only like a foot down,
Okay.
When I dreamed about these, I fell face first into one and then woke up. I don't know if that means we should or shouldn't, or even just like whether that ain't information at all, but
I mean, if I've known any story about the Feywilds, this could be how they're getting in here. This could
yeah,
be another portal of some sort.
yeah. And just because you're feeling the bottom here, don't mean that they ain't getting through here. Although maybe should we just press on?
Is there a path past it? Does it look like?
I don't know. What can you actually see? Ah, okay. I'm seeing what your light actually reveals. Looking past it.
I guess I'll like take a step in towards the center of the room, try to walk around the pools.
Yeah, well, when you get to about there, going forward, you just see that it goes into a dead end.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just double checking here to see something, to see if there's like. Yeah, all you see are these flat pools of water, and then it goes off to a dead end with the water dripping from the ceiling. However, as you step over this one pool and kind of move into the center, looking off towards the back, you hear a strange sound to your right, and you look over, you can see these two other pools of water, and one of the pools of water directly to the north of you kind of almost like bulges out like a bubble.
I'd like to make space. Going back, going back, going back.
Kind of, you start to scramble backwards, and you see this pool of water suddenly, and it flicks out towards you in this black pseudopod. Let's see here. Okay, you go ahead, Lovelace, as you scramble out of the way. This black pseudopod flicks out and just misses you, hitting the wall. And when it does, it retracts back into the pool of water, and you see where it hit the moss. That moss is very quickly and rapidly just and steam coming off of it as it's just being dissolved by whatever just hit it. You can now see that this inky black surface of this pool of water to the north is starting to just kind of undulate and roil. But yeah, what do you want to do?
Okay, one of those pools is a bad pool. It's spicy water. Let's go the other way. Nothing that way anyway. It's just dead end.
All right.
And Lovelace will push past Manfred and Renwyn and walk into. Oh, thank God! It opens up a little bit.
So, as when you get to the threshold of this room, let me describe it to you as you enter into this room. That kind of earthy mineral smell starts to give way, and you're left with the smell of like moldy, decaying fabric and fur, and a very like pungent smell of rot. Directly in front of you, there are these pillars that rise up, and this room opens up into probably a 20-foot high ceilinged chamber with these great pillars rising up to the ceiling. Scattered throughout the room, you can see waist-high stone slabs in the middle of this room. There are about 5 of them. 6. There are about 6 of these slabs throughout the room. And the slabs themselves are... they look to be in the bit of light that you're casting with your torch. They are covered in a deep, rusty-colored substance, just like almost cooked or soaked into the stone. Far off in the eastern corner, you see glints of light catching something, and as you peer into the darkness, you can see these piles of misshapen shapes just like stuck in the corner with little glints catching off of something metallic. Yeah. What would you like to do as you stand at the threshold of this room?
I mean, Lovelace just, I think, loses herself for a second and, like, just almost involuntarily just is like, oh, thank God, open space. And just...
Lovelace, wait
Okay.
for us.
Just, like, pulling on the rope.
Okay. Leading Renwyn and Manfred along.
Nope.
Sorry. Quidam uses stone shape and just melds into the wall. Okay, stepping into the room, Lovelace, a number of things you notice. Those misshapen piles in the corner, you see countless pieces of bone, many of which you recognize as humanoid. Skulls and femurs and other fragments of humanoid forms. It is also mixed with just a mismatch of an assortment of clothing, armor, discarded tools. You can see an old rusty pickaxe and a shovel, as well as some things that are still catching some of the glint of light off of your torch, metallic objects. You do see that nestled in the refuse, there appears to be a set of decent-looking. They almost look like goggles of some kind that are kind of buried in the refuse, and you also get that sense of being watched and feel like you see movement to your left and right.
Everyone get in here. Come on in.
As everyone starts to spill in, Lovelace, you still see that movement. And Quidam, as you come in, you look up into this room, and you can see that kind of clinging to the walls, almost buried inside the moss itself, there are 3 of these creatures just hiding just off the ground, clinging to the moss, their bulbous eyes catching glints of light as Lovelace holds her torch above her head. And Manfred as well, he, at the back of the group, as they all start stepping in, he stops and turns, looking down the hallway you came, and starts to raise his pistol up. I think we can just jump right into the initiative order we already have established, so we don't have to go through the rigmarole of all of that. But as you are all stepping into this room, it seems that these creatures have begun to surround you. So, with that, let us go to the top of the round. Unless I'll give both of you, if you want to try, I'll give you, like, as long as it's not like a combat related action, if you want to try to do something, I'll allow you to react in some way, as you are noticing these creatures clinging to the walls around you. Do either of you want to do anything?
No, the only thing I can think of doing would take a lot more than 1 round, so...
Spirit Guardians.
What were you
That's
thinking
combat related. Well, I was thinking of a casting ceremony and, like, setting these people to rest, but that takes an hour.
Hold on, just a moment.
Yeah. What? Can you give me an hour and 10 minutes, folks, please?
Just settle in.
How close by are the goggles? Like, could I scoop them up and, like, put them on real quick?
That's probably a little more involved.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
let me
on the other side of the room.
let me show you all the friends that are in the room.
Oh, hello, friends.
Okay, so, although, actually, I just looked at the time. We're, like, right at about 9
this
o'clock.
seems like a good stopping
This
point.
is a really good stopping point.
Dad!
I know, I'm sorry. So, as all of you stand here in the dark with just the little bits of light you have, trying to penetrate this darkness before you that seems to be closing in. The whispers themselves starting to rise once more. The cacophonous sound of multitude of voices screaming out for help in the dark. You just see these creatures clinging to the mossy walls, staring down at you, the light from the torches catching their bulbous eyes. And that is where we'll end tonight's session. So, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. And let us wrap things up tonight. Do either of you, I don't think we have any announcements tonight. Do either of you have anything you want to say? No? Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna be streaming on Thursday. We did our 2 for the month. But I think at the end of next stream, next Monday, we'll have met our final requirement to become an affiliate, which is exciting. So yeah, with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. I hope for those of you that are celebrating the holiday, I hope you have a wonderful holiday. At the very least, I hope you get time off. For those of you in the working out there, and get to see folks and family and whatever. So, thank you for joining us. Hope to see you on Monday. Good night.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Have a good night.